Over these past weeks, including this Shabbat, our Torah portions have provided us with a picture of creation and recreation. Following Simchat Torah, when we began the cycle of Torah reading again, we read the story of the creation of the world and humankind. And then at the end of the Torah portion, we read about the need to start all over again. That human life was not as God had envisioned it, and therefore a flood was brought upon the earth. And then again, the process of recreation. God creates a new world with Noah and his family as the model for humankind, eradicating the violence that was on the earth at that time. In this Torah portion, Lech-Lecha, we see the need of Abraham to recreate himself. God calls upon Abraham. He says, leave your parents' home, your birthplace, and go to a land that I will show you, and I will make you a mighty people. Perhaps this process of creation and recreation is a story in all our lives. Constant change. The need to evaluate as we go forward. We know why God was angry at humankind and destroyed all living beings on the face of the earth because of the violence, the lack of respect, no sense of appreciation, a lack of a knowledge of holiness in each life. But a Torah portion contains the story of the Tower of Babel. That God was angry with humanity because they spoke one language. At first blush, this makes no sense. Why would the Holy One care if we all spoke one language? In Poland, there was a movement to create a universal language called Esperanto, and I believe was created and developed by a Jew. This was before the Holocaust. So why was it such a terrible sin? For God to confound human beings, bring chaos where there was calm and unity. The rabbis tell us, as a matter of fact, that the one language they spoke was Hebrew. Lashon HaKodesh, the Holy Tongue. What was wrong with that? Because it wasn't simply that they spoke the same language. They all spoke the same words, conveyed the same ideas and concepts, said the same thing. In the Hebrew, it's called Devarim Achudim. They were singular in mind and vision. And that's pretty much the problem we face today in what we call the cancel culture, where there seems to be a lack of tolerance for diversion and difference in ideas. If one doesn't like what the other one says, they cancel them. They cease to exist for that person. We see it in the media. We see it in the world of politics. We see it in the interaction between individuals. So what lesson is the Torah trying to convey to us these past 3 weeks, beginning with creation and continuing to the beginning of Abraham's saga, to go out on his own, begin anew? In my mind, creation is an ongoing process for the individual and for a society. We have to stop, reevaluate. And while the other may not agree with us, it doesn't mean we are right and they are wrong. It gives us no right to cancel that person, disregard their feelings. We saw that in the world of politics this past year. We see it in the politics of extremism. We're taking a different path. Could lead to utter destruction. Just look at Afghanistan. Look at other countries in the Middle East and in Africa. You have to walk lock and step to survive. And there's yet another message here. And that is, we cannot rest on our laurels. We must always be moving forward, not singular in idea and action, but open to the diversity. We've reached a time where high school seniors are beginning to file their college applications. What makes one college more desirable or, quote, better than the other? Well, before I provide my answer, let me say this to our seniors. There's no one best college in the world for you. The best college in the world for you is the one you get into and take advantage of. But going back to the original question, what differentiates universities and colleges? What leads one to say this place is better than the other? It's not the books you read. It's not the courses you take. They're all pretty much the same. Whether you go to a state college or that expensive Ivy League college, the differences of ideas that are shared between the student body. Not the lecture of the professor, but the wisdom of your fellow classmates. So let us be open. Let us always be open to change. Let us recognize that we are changing every day. And where we were today is not necessarily where we will be tomorrow. And let us accept that in others and go forward, arm in arm, recreating our society, addressing the challenges with respect always one for the other. Shabbat Shalom.